You're 44 years old, and the judge just signed the papers that split everything you spent 2 decades building directly down the middle. Half your retirement account, half the equity in the house you'll never live in again. Half of what you thought was your future, just gone. And the worst part? Nobody warned you that the divorce was actually the easy part. I checked my own retirement balance once, after a particularly rough month, and closed the app so fast I think I sprained my thumb. We'll come back to that. What comes next is where most people quietly fall apart. Your financial recovery depends on understanding one thing that financial advisors will rarely say out loud, because their entire model assumes you're starting from zero with time on your side. You are not starting from zero. You're starting from negative. And time is the one asset you can't get back. The numbers are brutal. According to a US Government Accountability Office study, people who divorce after age 40 see their household net worth drop by an average of 50%. That's not just the asset split. That's what happens after, when you're trying to rebuild. Women over 50 who divorce experience a 41% decline in their standard of living. Men see 21%. Both numbers get worse the older you are when it happens. Brain see number bad. Brain want to lie down, same. But the studies don't capture the real damage. Losing half your assets is one problem. The bigger one is what happens to your earning potential in the exact same moment. At 44, you're somewhere in the middle of your career. Maybe you took time off when the kids were young. Maybe you prioritized your spouse's career because it made sense at the time. Maybe you stayed in a job with flexibility instead of maximum income because you were thinking as a household, not as an individual. Every one of those decisions was rational when you made it. Every single one of them just became a financial anchor. You need to earn more than you ever have, exactly when your career mobility is lower than it's been in 20 years. Here is the reframe nobody offers you. You cannot rebuild the same wealth you lost. The math doesn't work. If you lose $200,000 at 44, you would need to save roughly $4,000 a month for the next 20 years, at a 7% return just to get back to where you were. $4,000 a month. Most people getting divorced at midlife are struggling to cover rent and their share of the kids' expenses. You're not recovering. You're building something new with different rules and a different finish line. Most people waste 2 years trying to get back to where they were before they figure this out. Here's what the math actually looks like when you stop chasing the old number. Say you're 44, your assets after the split sit at $100,000, and you have 21 years until traditional retirement age. Contribute $800 a month into a 401k or a Roth IRA. Get a roughly 7% average return, and you'll land somewhere near $610,000 by 65. Not the $800,000 you had before, not the million you thought you'd retire with, but $610,000, plus Social Security, plus the fact that your expenses at 65 will likely be lower than they are tonight. Hit 50 and you unlock the IRS catch-up contribution, an extra $7,500 a year into your 401k. That moves the number meaningfully. It's a real tool. Not a magic bullet, but a real tool. Is that the retirement you pictured at 30? No. Is it a dignified, functional retirement? Yes. The gap between those two answers is the whole game. Also, retirement projections are basically a weather forecast for 2047, so calm confidence is appropriate. Swaggering certainty is not. Now the part you didn't see coming. The third financial mistake people make in year one, the one you're probably making right now while thinking you're being responsible, is sitting on cash. After a divorce, the brain wants safety. Cash feels safe. So most people coming out of midlife divorces park their settlement, their emergency fund, and anything not nailed down into a checking account or a low-interest savings account. They tell themselves they'll invest once things settle down. Things never settle down. That's not how life after a divorce works. Meanwhile, inflation is quietly chewing through that cash at roughly 3% a year, and the time you needed for compounding is slipping away. 2 years of sitting on a $100,000 settlement is potentially a $40,000 to $50,000 loss by retirement. You didn't lose it on a bad investment. You lost it by being careful. Caveman brain love cash. Cash feel like control. Cash is not control. Cash is rust. Here's what actually works. Open a Roth IRA if you don't already have one. Fidelity, Vanguard or Schwab, 15 minutes online. Inside the account, put your money in a low-cost total market index fund or a target date retirement fund. That's it. Don't pick individual stocks. Don't try to time the market. Don't research crypto at midnight. If your employer offers a 401k match, contribute at least enough to get the full match. That's 100% return on day one. It's the closest thing to free money you'll ever see, and turning it down because you're sorting things out is the most expensive form of procrastination available to you. One Roth IRA, one 401k contribution at the match level, one index fund inside each. That's the rebuild. It doesn't need to be glamorous. You're not getting back to where you were. That version of your finances ended the day the judge signed. What you can do is build something honest, on a shorter runway, with the income and the clarity that 44 actually gives you. That version of retirement is real. The other one was always partly a story. And if you do nothing tonight except open the brokerage account, not fund it, not pick the fund, just open it, you've already done more than most people do in their first year after a divorce. Just promise me you'll open the account before you close the app this time. My thumb is still recovering.